welcome back to another week. This week I'm taking a look at the 2024 Honda Civic Touring. This is the top trim if you don't want to get all the sporty bits. This is as good as the normal Civic gets. So I've got like about 180 horsepower, CVT, all that stuff, no manual transmission, nothing like that. Keep all the fun performance stuff for the SI and the Type R. This is just your average daily driver, but it's loaded. It's got a lot of stuff in it. If you can see it from the side, look at it from the front quick here before we hop in. I have driven it a little bit before, so it's not too bad. Nice gray color too. They haven't changed very much in the past couple of years here, but I do like these rims on the side. Very nice. I like the gray color. Fantastic. It's a full-size sedan as far as I'm concerned. I'll show you around back here. Trying not to step in too much mud. Oh my goodness. Around back again, it's your standard thing. You see it in traffic. You see it on the highway. You see it in nearly every single parking lot. It's there's not really much exhaust going on there, but yeah, we'll take a look at the trunk quick. Plenty of room. Don't mind this hockey stick thing. I don't know why it's in here. We have the Civic, kind of a nice floor lining in here. Very nice. It's really cool. I mean, it's really nice. The Touring is the way to go, I think, for the Civic. But I mean, Civic comes with a lot of good standard stuff. We're going to talk about all of that this week. Let's hop in though. I'll give you my first impressions and we'll get the week started. Okay, quick little start up. Start things off. I'll give you a little interior tour just a little bit later. It's yelling at me because the lights are on. Just going to bang my feet off because it is quite muddy outside. Greeted by this really nice steering wheel. Let me close this. Yes, I know the lights are on. All right, let's turn that to auto. So, start stop button is right there. You can see it kind of lights up when I press the brake. Really cool. Turn that on. No crazy exhaust noise or anything like that. But like I said, we'll leave the performance stuff to the Civic SI and the Type R and stuff. This is just your run-of-the-mill guy. But it does an excellent job so far. So let me mount you up there. I'll give you my first impressions. Let's do it. So first impressions for the Honda Civic. Second time in the driver's seat for the week. We are on Monday. I'm going to turn the air down a little bit, but it is really hot here in Quebec. It's 18 today outside. Unbelievable. Anyways, let's talk Civic. So right away, you notice things. You look at it on paper, you see, okay, Civic Touring, it's pretty affordable, even in the top trim. Lots of nice stuff in here. That's fantastic. And then you look at okay, 180 horsepower, CVT. Okay, those are two kind of words or sentences that make you go, oh, like you got hit on the head by something. But I will say that it's actually pretty fun. And that's what the thing is too. It's okay, forget the horsepower, forget the CVT, forget all that stuff. You really aren't looking at the Civic Touring for fun driving, really fun driving. You're gonna save that for the, you're gonna save that for the Civic SI, for the Integra Type S, if you want to go even higher than that, for the Civic Type R. So this is really the low, tame guy. You can have a little bit of fun in it because look, yes, it is a CVT. It's got some nice power delivery to it though. Very surprising. I think I've driven one Civic in my life, maybe a 2015 Civic when they were the coupe version or whatever. And that was nice, but I found it had a lot of lag to it, a lot of turbo lag. I feel like they actually fixed a lot of it with this, this version of the Civic, this generation of the Civic. It's really, really nice. So that's what we're gonna be doing this week. We're really not gonna be really evaluating on its pure performance or on stuff like that. I will talk about it because obviously I think people deserve to know, but I do have the Civic SI coming later on in the summer, so I will be able to tell you that really matters performance and how fun it is to drive. This is just, is it a good grocery getter? Is it a good daily driver? That's what I'm going to be trying to show you this week. So far though, I can tell you it's very comfortable. It's handling, but I don't know how it has that much business being that good handle wise. I was really chucking it around on some twisty stuff when I was, on my way back after picking it up, and it handled it pretty well. And I just remember saying it's sticking to the road. It's still sticking to the road. Why is this decent? I didn't expect it to be as good as it is. So already we are above expectations, steering, handling wise, which I really enjoy. I like to be able to kind of throw the car around just a little bit. And I can tell you right now, I got heated seats, heated steering, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, stuff like that. It's a digital gauge cluster, which is nice too. Makes things feel pretty modern. Reminds me so much of the Integra Type S. as I miss it so much. So this really is reminding me of it this week. The thing we're missing is that manual transmission, but we will get it in the Civic SI. So let's get into the week here. Let's see how good of a daily driver this Honda Civic Touring can be. This is the top trim of the Civic, at least in Canada anyways. And so let's check it out. Let's see what it's got. Alrighty, another morning with the Honda Civic, or actually the first morning with the Honda Civic. Let's do a cold start. I actually have a remote starter, so that'll be much easier. Let's check this out. It's a very quiet little engine here, you know? Wasn't expecting very much. It's quite cold though. But, yeah. Maybe the Honda Civic SI will be a little bit louder. Oh, there's the smoke. There's some stuff. You know what? It's not terrible. All right, nice day out. We're sitting inside the Honda Civic Touring, so I figured this is a good time to show you what it's all about. So it is absolutely hot outside today once again. So we're just gonna put some AC on here. But okay, so you sit in the vehicle right away. You're, greeted by this nice steering wheel, perfectly big size, or perfectly sized for the size of the vehicle. We've got paddle shifters here, so there's a little bit of sportiness to our normal Civic Touring here. I've got lane keep assist or lane centering, stuff like that, cruise control adaptive as well, which is nice. My volume controls and stuff like that are both over here. I like the buttons on here. They feel clicky and nice. I like the fully digital gauge cluster. Not something that I'm used to seeing on most Civics, but now in this new generation, I think we're going to see this a lot more, and I like it. Reminds me a lot of the Integra stuff, or at least the Acura Integra Type S had almost the exact same gauge cluster. A little bit bigger, I think, though, on that one. So not bad. Left-hand side, I've got some safety controls, parking sensor controls, stuff like that. Very basic stuff. No memory seating here for the top trim of the Civic Touring, but that's all right. I don't feel like you really need it. Then if you move over, we have this kind of small, on the small side of infotainment screens, but perfect. I mean, you have your car customization that you can do. You can customize different things for the car. There's, again, not a lot to do or discover here, but there is a few things. We have wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, stuff like that. It's very quick. I've got built-in navigation as well on here. There's no problems here. I really don't mind it. It's nice and easy to use. Sirius XM2 if you're one of these people, trip computers, different things like that. It's very simple, very easy to get yes to. We like it. And then I have these nice vents. I do like them. I like how they feel premium. These switches down here for my HVAC controls feel very clicky, very premium, which we like. I've got heated seats, and I've also got the heated steering wheel button right down here, which is very nice. So we have those two kind of necessities. No ventilation for the top trim of the Civic Touring, but we do have a wireless charger, 2 USB chargers, no USB-C, so that's one of those things. And then a standard shifter. You don't have a manual mode where you can put it in. I'm assuming that as soon as I click the paddle, that is what's going to happen. I've got some drive mode, eco, sport, and normal. Brake hold button, 2 cup holders, a little bit of storage there, and then pretty nice leatherette kind of seats, little sunroof there. I wish this was colored. I don't know. That's just kind of my thing. I just wish they just, make it all black if you have to, because this just, I don't know, it looks weird when they don't color it. Got a little sunglass holder though. The sunroof is powered, so that's nice. I mean, there's a lot of nice things going on in here. It's definitely not an uncomfortable interior. It's a very simple interior, and it's just good for everyday use. You just hop in, you know what to do with it, and it just drives, and it drives surprisingly well, handles surprisingly well. So if I can a little bit later, I'll take you, on the road again. We'll do a little more performance tours and stuff like that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about driving dynamics, steering feel, all that stuff. Let's go a little bit deeper than I was able to go yesterday. What is this Chevrolet Bolt doing? Nothing good. That's of course the case. So yeah, let's talk a little bit more about it. I've got a sport mode here, which I could, that's eco mode. I've got a sport mode which I could put it in, and it's got some pace for only 180 horsepower. And it's pretty good. Also got some paddle shifters, so that's nice too. We don't hate that at all. And it's kind of fun to drive. It's kind of got really good handling for what it is. I mean, for just a base Honda, not a performance, doesn't have a performance engine, nothing like that. And you can see I'm turning here. I can give it beams even, and it's just I'm not going anywhere fast in particular, but I still am getting really, really good steering feel out of this, and that's fun. I mean, if you're like, you know, well, all you can afford is something like this, and you just want a daily driver that can be kind of fun, I do think that the Civic Touring is probably your best option, because we do get the upgraded engine in here. It does actually get slower from here, so the good thing is we can get a nice little upgrade for the engine, which is fantastic. And also, like, fuel economy wise, I'm doing 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which is right in that sweet spot, right in that area where it's like, well, you know what, that's not too bad. I'm not really pushing that. I don't have a hybrid system or anything on board this time, but it's pretty decent, you know, and I can pretty much drive in sport mode all the time and get about there or around that, so that's also good news as well. So we like this too. And again, the other thing that I have to compare it to, my 2018 Elantra did that too, like around the 7s, low 7s, you know, high 8s when I was really going for it. But that's pretty good, pretty good all around. It's just such a solid, so far been such a solid daily driver. I'm gonna have more errands to run and stuff later, so I'll either film it or I'll let you know about it. But, you know, basic stuff, going to the bank, going to the grocery store, going back home, going to get ice cream, you know, stuff like that. It's just like, it's just easy to do. And the Civic Touring just works, starts up, drives away, comfortable, good steering. What more do you want? Very nice so far. All right, another day outside with the Honda Civic Touring. Like I said, top trim of the Touring. So what I really want to know now is, what do you think of this paint color? When I go in the configurator, this seems to be the one that they don't charge you for. So I want to see, would you get it in this color? I do see a lot of Civics in this color, like especially the new ones. So I'm wondering, do you like this kind of gray finish kind of paint that they have with these nice rims? Personally, I think the two go together really well. I do like it. I like the gray paint. Doesn't bother me at all. But you can get it in some more interesting colors, but of course you have to pay. So if you want the top trim and maybe don't want to pay for paint, maybe this is a good option. I just wish they showed the exhaust, especially in the Touring. Like, you know, you can kind of see it there on the bottom right, but I mean, that's it. There's no like cutout for them. There's no space for them. I wish they did that. It would have made things look nicer, at least on the Touring. Like, give us a little bit of something, because I feel like they really tamed the Civic down a little bit. They used to have like really aggressive body lines. Now not so much. You can see if I come to the side there, it's really, really smoothed out. A lot of the edges are smoothed out, but I mean, it is a very smoothed out platform now, and it does things exceptionally well. Like, it has no business driving as well as it does, but because of that multi-link rear suspension, I think that's what I'm feeling. And yeah, fantastic. Never driven, you know, one of the newer generation Civics, so I'm having a great time. So yeah, let me know what you think. Would you buy it in this configuration? All that stuff. Tell me in the comments. I want to see what you think. All right, so it's pretty much my last full-time filming the car. Kind of getting some last-minute shots of the Civic Type. I almost said Civic Type R, Civic Touring. Definitely doesn't look like a Type R, but you know what? Maybe we'll get it one of these days. I'm kind of in like a little park here in Montreal. It's you know, a nice little deserted place. It's pretty good for filming some stuff, and you know, it just looks good. It's a really good looking car. I can't hate on it. It's been really solid for a daily driver. I've got a ton of trunk space, ton of leg room in the rear for my legs. We'll say it like that because apparently I can't speak. But yeah, and it's pretty good on gas, not too bad. It's not a hybrid system. That's what I would like to see maybe adopted at some point. But we do have the Accord that's a little bit bigger, and it does have the hybrid system, I believe. So hopefully I'll get to check out that later on this year, and I'll give you kind of my roundup of the whole Civic platform and stuff like that. But for now, I will hop in and I will give you my final impressions for the Honda Civic Touring. Let's do it. Okay, so now let's do the final impressions for the Honda Civic Touring. And like I've been saying all week, the thing that stands out to me the most with the Civic Touring is that it actually has really good handling. The sport mode is kind of fun to use sometimes. Even with only 180 horsepower, you can make something that, you know, still has a little bit of fun to it. Now, I'm sure that the Honda Civic SI kind of takes that to another level, and then the Type R is probably its own thing, right? Like, so they've left a lot of performance on the table to go up in trim should you need to, but should you not want to or not require it or not even care, and you just want a good daily driver that is that has a ton of room in the back and in the trunk, and the front's comfortable, the ride quality is comfortable, then the Honda Civic is possibly and probably the compact king. It is the golden standard, I think, when it comes to compact cars. I think it's just one of the best out there. And it explains why you see them everywhere. Different generations, different versions. People have added mods to them, stuff like that. But still, the Civic is in its own league almost, because it is just so good at being a daily driver. I said the same thing about the Mazda 3. The Mazda 3 even having more horsepower than the Civic, but the Civic still handles way better than a Mazda 3. But when you compare them on weather or on how much of a good daily driver they are neck and neck. It is very much the same thing. And then as I'm talking about how many Civics are on the road, I passed about 4 of them. It's insane how many Civics are on the road in the parking lots and in the driveways. I can spot, just going down this residential street, I can spot 3 of them. So look, they're absolutely everywhere, but they're everywhere for a reason, because they're affordable still. Even to this day, I feel like the top end of the Civic Touring is pretty affordable. We're just approaching that like $40,000 mark, which is expensive but still competitive compared to, you know, what else is available out there and what a lot of other companies are charging lately for, you know, the same amount of features or less in some cases. So we have that going for us as well. So I hope you enjoyed watching me go through the week with the Honda Civic. It's really hard to find things to complain about it, because it is just so solid at what it needs to do, and it does its job, you know, as good as any, if not better than most. So I'm a fan. I like it. I'll drive more. I have the Honda Civic SI booked. Nothing for the Type R yet. I don't know if it's on our fleet or it's coming or something. If it does, I'll pick it up and I'll review them. But definitely stay tuned for the Civic SI. It is coming shortly in like the next month or so. So we'll be able to drive that, and I'll show you what it's like to live with that as well. So make sure you like, subscribe, and everything like that. And I will see you in the next car. See you the next week. Take care.